Yes, once again, morning. Welcome for today's presentation. I'm by the names Munza David, and today we are going to see how artificial intelligence applies in the health sector. So, today we are dealing with implementation of mental illness detection system to provide measurement, analysis, and diagnostic for anxiety, where people feel bored and sorry in life. So disorder of anxiety is usually among the youth and different age groups. So why it matters? It helps in identifying, evaluate, and treat anxiety at earlier stages. Since assessment works in background without our conscious attention, you don't know what will happen, what someone is doing, and what is happening. Usually, when a person is under disorder. So, in the health sector, this applies a lot. So this builds the future and improves the health sector. How artificial intelligence will be applied? AI, in abbreviation, we detect behavior signs of anxiety using motion sensors with the ability to detect most anxiety symptoms, for example, nail biting and hand tapping. This is particularly, those are usually the seen symptoms. There are other many symptoms. So today, let me just discuss those ones. Under artificial intelligence, we have different approaches used, and they are very different, meaning they have differences in between them. We have the supervised learning and unsupervised learning, and these are the differences. Use labeled data set to predict outcomes. That is for supervised learning, and then on the other side, uses unlabeled data set. Supervised algorithm learn from training dataset iteratively and adjusting the correct answer. Algorithm work on their own to discover the structure of unlabeled data. For unsupervised learning, that's what it does. Then what is the goal? The goal is to predict outcome for new data under the other side, and this side goal is to get insight from the big or large volumes of data. Usually the applications are spam detection, weather forecasting, and predicting prices. So customer personal and medical imaging, where we are under today about this project and the idea. Then when it comes to things being simple or complex, supervised learning is considered a simple method. Typically involves calculating through the use of programs such as Python and usually even R. But for unsupervised learning, you need powerful tools working with large amounts of unclassified data, thus making it complex. Then supervised learning is time consuming to train, and the labels for input and output variables require expertise. So with supervised learning, that's all. Then unsupervised, less time, but inaccurate results usually got, unless you have human intervention to validate the output variables in that case. So the type of data to use. The data will be sensor data type, which involves sensor clusters such as health information and personal data. This will be with the help of voice, text, and images. As we go along, there are some of the techniques that are usually used for the approaches, learning approaches. And the supervised learning technique, we have classification. Here, use an algorithm to actually assign test data into specific categories such as mood from sleep. So another technique, we have clustering, an algorithm to understand the relationship between dependent and independent variables such as physical activity and social activity. Then another one, we have clustering being a powerful tool for discovering patterns and structure in labeled, which will involve analyzing the training data to learn a function that can be used for predicting the labels of new examples. For example, during fraud detection. Unsupervised techniques, and these ones are usually applied in imaging technology. So since we are under the health sector, so clustering is a powerful tool for discovering patterns and structure in unlabeled data sets. For example, we shall partition patients based on their similarities such as distance, and use image segmentation and k-means, assign similar points into objects or groups to find patterns across patients. Then lastly, association. Try learn without a teacher, as data are not labeled. Therefore, just discover interesting relationship hidden in larger data sets. Under this association, we shall find different interesting physical behavior and understand association between different activities done at places. Then rule generation step to generate all the rules from the frequent item sets, control, support, and confidence. So this is what will be used. Then one of the challenges or few challenges faced or encountered, expected to be encountered for few established biomarkers. The diagnosis usually AI primarily uses classification based on established biomarkers. Based on these, for example, voice, text, and images usually are not validated, so you need to be careful when validating such information, because there are different sounds, images, text, and all that to observe. Inadequate data schema and standards. Data follows certain schema. Data about data. Standards, though, are various standards for clinical data, specific standards for data related to mental health, and they are usually unfamiliar. So lastly, inadequate quality sensors. Technically, sensors, you need to get quality, to observe those pictures, text, voice. So the sensors have to be of quality. Then what are some of the possible solutions? We need establishing or developing biomarkers. Since we can't build a robust model for diagnosis using automated evaluation, so you need to develop, evaluate the biomarkers. For the schemas and standards, we are listing various standards for clinical data, specific standards for data related to mental health. That's what will be involved in. Adequate quality sensor detectors. Research on the market for these hardware, so that are those that are tested and passed the test. So what are some of the differences between accuracy and recall, precision, and focus as the metrics? Accuracy is the ratio of correctly predicted classifications to the total test data set. And then recall is the ratio of system-generated results that correctly predict positive observations to observations in the actual malgation class. Then for precision, This is the ratio system generated results that correctly predict positive observation to the system's total predicted positive observations. Those will include both correct and incorrect, true and false positives. So F1 is a weighted average for harmonic mean of precision and recall. Therefore, this scores takes both positive and false negatives into account to strike a balance between the precision and recall. Two most appropriate AI evaluation metrics. Recall, as explained, this minimizes false negatives at the risk of increasing false positives. Then precision, it will reduce a high cost associated with positive results. The references used are below. Usually what I have now, there are 5, but there are many. I will take a case of machine learning paves the way toward prevention of mental health crisis nature, medical research and briefing, 18 May 2020. Then Assad, GID, December 10, 2019, Human Activity Recognition, HAR, using multi-modal attention. Once again, I want to thank you for watching. My name is Vumza David. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel below. Thank you and a good time.